Dr. Ann, it's nice to meet you. What brings you here today? Okay. And how long approximately have you been feeling this way? Alright, so for kind of a while. Have you tried talk therapy before? Alright. Yeah, I personally am not a huge fan of talk therapy as well when it comes to myself. I just don't feel the need to vent. I prefer more techniques and strategies that I can use in the moment to just sort of calm myself down. So for this session, I'd really like to focus on sort of going over some techniques and strategies that you can use when you're feeling a little overwhelmed or out of sorts in the moment. They're going to help calm and regulate your central nervous system. So the central nervous system is an interesting thing. None of us, are going to react the same way. Everyone's central nervous system is a little bit different, it's like a fingerprint, and what calms you down and what's going to regulate you might not be the same for me, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to teach you a couple techniques, and I'd like us to sort of practice them now in an environment when, you're feeling calm and regulated, and we'll see which ones work for you. And I'm going to ask you to sort of try to hold back on judgment, because I'm going to be completely honest with you. When some of these strategies were first presented to me and I was learning about them, my knee-jerk reaction was, oh, that's stupid. I'm just someone that is a naturally skeptical person. So I don't want you to feel like when you first hear some of these strategies and you think, that sounds absurd or that sounds ridiculous, that it won't work for you. So just like you don't choose what foods taste good to you, you're also not able to choose necessarily what techniques are going to calm your central nervous system. So I just want to invite you to keep an open mind as we go through these, and you might be surprised at which ones actually feel beneficial to you when you're trying them out. So just like a quick rundown on the central nervous system. Your central nervous system is constantly observing your internal and your external environment and searching for threats. And it's trying to keep you alive. So its heart's in the right place, it's designed to keep you alive and thriving. What's interesting to note, though, is it's not designed to keep you happy. From an evolutionary standpoint, survival takes precedent over happiness. So when your body receives what it perceives as a threat from the external environment, and it starts doing these, physiological changes to your body where, you're sweating to cool your body down, your pupils are dilating, your hearing's becoming more acute, your muscles are getting more oxygen to prepare for, potentially defending yourself in a fight. Those physiological changes that start to make you feel anxious and overwhelmed. Those physiological changes, while in theory, if there actually is a true danger present, are beneficial, they can start to, wreak havoc in your body if, all of these things are running unchecked on a constant basis, and you don't have any means or any strategies in place to calm yourself back down and bring yourself into homeostasis when there's not an actual threat in the environment, which often cases there's not. So Today we're just going to practice some techniques that I think might help you to just get yourself into a more calm, relaxed state when you feel some of these triggers starting to occur. All right? And like I said, I just want you to keep an open mind, because just like we can't believe everything that we read, everything that we see, everything that we hear, we also can't believe everything that we feel. Our body can be very, very misleading. And I know this might sound sort of strange, but sometimes you actually have to think of your body as a separate entity than yourself. There's a part of you that exists that's separate from your body. I don't want to get too in depth, but oftentimes people will have flatlined, and yet they still come back and recall all these things that they saw and heard while they had zero brain activity. So while it's our body's job to keep us regulated and prepare us for danger, it's our job to keep ourselves happy and calm and stable and regulated. And that's something we have to consciously do. If I turned up the heat in this room, your body would automatically start to sweat in order to cool you down. That's something your body would do for you automatically to help you. But there's times when you are going to have to do things to help yourself that your body is not capable of doing on its own. So that's what we're going to learn about today. All right, we're going to learn about some techniques. They're going to give you a sense of control and a sense of power. And they're going to help you to regulate your central nervous system, all right? So maybe there's only going to be 3 of these techniques that work for you. Maybe there'll be more. But like I said, I just want you to keep an open mind, and let's try some of them, and we'll figure out which ones you like and which ones you don't. Okay? All right, so let's see. Where should we start? All right, well, we'll start with this one. This is one of the ones that I actually enjoy. So it's singing, chanting, humming. So singing, chanting, and humming actually have a calming effect on the vagus nerve. So, what's sort of interesting about this is, for hundreds of years we've been singing and humming and chanting instinctually, either to soothe a crying baby or to get centered within oneself, whether you're chanting the Om or something along that nature. But we've discovered that it actually really does have a beneficial calming effect on the central nervous system to engage in these activities. So the nice thing about these is you can be driving in your car and you can just start humming a song. You could be chanting, you could be singing, and it will help to distract you and calm you down. I don't know if you've ever taken a yoga class, and when everybody does the Om together, there really is this interesting sensation that you feel in your body as you're doing it, and you feel the vibrations. It's not just a bunch of, new age malarkey or whatever you want to call it. There's something that actually starts happening inside of you when you feel that vibration inside of you. So which one would you feel the most comfortable doing right now? Humming? Okay. So why don't you just try to hum a song that you enjoy, or you can make up something on the spot and just sort of take note of how you feel while you're humming that song. Honestly, don't feel silly about it at all. I have had to do all of these things in front of someone as well, so yeah, don't feel ridiculous. For me personally, when I do the humming one, lots of times I'll hum a song that my mom would sing to me when I was a baby, and it already has like a relaxing sort of association with that. Here, I'll do a little bit of humming for you to make you feel less on the spot. So yeah, it's one of the ones I use. Another technique is visualization. This is also one of my personal favorites. And it's picturing a place that you feel safe and picturing it in its entirety. And safety is an interesting thing. I mean, obviously, if I ask you what safety is, you understand, what the word means, like from just the context of like the definition. But a lot of us have forgotten what it actually feels like to feel safe, because our body is just constantly in this state of fight or flight. And to just put yourself in a frame of mind where you go back to a place in your memory. It could be a time that you were at your grandmother's house, and she's in the kitchen baking, or whether it's a spot in nature where you had this amazing view of whether it was the ocean or the mountains, or even if it's a place that you just invent in your own mind's eye. That's a possibility as well. But you're really going to immerse yourself in this visualization. And it can be beneficial to do that with your eyes closed, but I know for some people, closing your eyes can be sort of triggering, and sometimes it's not an option. But if you do feel safe and you're in a place where you feel comfortable closing your eyes, do you feel comfortable closing your eyes right now? All right, so why don't you close your eyes? And I want you to think of that place, and you don't have to say it out loud. You don't have to tell me. But once you have it, I want you to use all of your 5 senses to really be inside this space, all right? So I want you to think about the smells that you're going to smell when you're in this space. If someone was cooking, you would smell the scents of the delicious food in the oven. If it's in nature, do you smell the wet soil? Do you smell the salt in the air from the ocean? Think of the temperature on your skin. If you're sitting on fabric, if you're laying on a comfortable, chair or bed, how do the sheets feel? You take all of that in. If, it involves taste, if you're eating a delicious meal in this fantasy, what does it taste like? And just try to engage as much as you can into this visualization. And just stay there and really take nice, slow, calm breaths. And just be in this place for a moment. You like that one? I like that one as well. I do use that sometimes if I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed, and I enjoy that visualization. It doesn't always have to be the same place. You know, you can think of different places that you feel safe at. So I'm sort of jumping around here. All right, so now we'll do one that's more physical. So there are a lot of acupressure points inside the ear, and there's all sorts of different ways to manipulate the ear in order to feel a sense of calm. Yeah, there's even been some interesting research lately that shows that certain piercings can actually help people that suffer from migraines. It's like a certain pressure point, like right in the inner ear, that can help. But so I'm going to show you a couple different techniques for the ear. I know it can seem a little silly, but like I said, just kind of go with it and we'll figure out which ones work for you and which ones don't work for you. When I first heard this one too, I was like, I don't know about this. But so you can give yourself like a little ear massage, just going along like the outer edges of your ear, and then you can also gently pull on the ear in different directions, down, up, different ways. And you're doing this all very gently, you're not doing it aggressively. Yeah, I'm sure there is a component to that, you know, just bringing yourself back into your body. But also there are acupressure points that feel all nice to you. And like I said, not every single one's gonna like click with you, but I'm gonna give you a handout that's a little more thorough, that goes over these in a little more depth than I'm going over them today, because we're kind of just jumping through things. But there's a handout with diagrams and everything that's gonna give a little more in-depth information. I know I'm just like throwing so many things at you right now. So another one is just self-touch, and that can be something as simple as just giving yourself a hug, like squeezing like your arms. It can be beneficial, and it can have a nice calming effect. So try that one out. Just give yourself, you know, some nice, gentle, sort of like squeezing, compression hugs. Yeah, no, it'll be nice to try it out alone as well, but you know, it's kind of nice just to try it out in like a neutral environment like this right now, even if you are laughing and feeling a little silly. So we just keep doing that. You can squeeze your legs, your arms. Another one is rocking. So, you know, what's sort of interesting is lots of times you'll see people that do have, you know, mental illness, whether like you're in a facility. I don't know if you've ever visited someone that's like in a mental institution, but you'll notice that there are a lot of people that are rocking. And it's sort of interesting that people have been able to just figure out instinctively that that is soothing. And I don't know if that's like a return to the womb kind of situation or what it is, but whether you're in a rocking chair or in a hammock, or you just want to start swaying in your chair or while you're standing up, just a very gentle swaying motion rocking from side to side can help to regulate the nervous system. So yeah, just kind of rock back and forth. Do you have a hammock or a rocking chair at your house? It's nice to use, if you have one, or if you want to go get one. Sometimes, I'll have a fire going and just put on like a nice record or some music and just get in the rocking chair and rock. And again, like people have been rocking babies, and it's all these things that we sort of knew soothed people and soothed infants, but we didn't exactly know why. But yeah, there is a calming mechanism to the central nervous system by just gently rocking and swaying. So another one of the more common central nervous system regulating systems is like a deep breathing exercise. So I'm sure you've heard about, numerous deep breathing exercises. And I'll admit that was one of the ones when, I was first starting off my practice and I was going to school and they talked about deep breathing, that I instinctually was sort of like, that's not going to help me. And the crazy thing is that's actually one of the ones that really helps me the most. So again, it's, learning not to believe everything that you feel. Because my knee-jerk reaction to deep breathing was that it sounded like a waste of time. Not knowing that I'm someone that really starts to breathe very shallowly when I am feeling anxious. So the interesting thing about deep breathing is you're telling your body that you're relaxing from the ground up, so to speak. You're using your body to make your mind feel more relaxed instead of vice versa. So many times we try to use our mind to tell our body to relax, and that's oftentimes almost impossible to do. It's very hard to talk yourself calm. Just as you wouldn't try to talk reasonably to a dog or to some animal that was in an agitated state, and just say, you really don't have a reason to feel this way right now. There's nothing in this room that's going to hurt you. The dog wouldn't comprehend that. The same is true for the more primitive part of your brain. That is the part that controls all these physiological responses that are happening. So you want to use your body to relax your brain instead of using your brain to relax your body. So that's why the breathing one really is super beneficial. So I'm going to sort of show you two breathing techniques that I use that sometimes will help me. And there's so many. So, if these ones don't feel good to you, feel free to try out some of the other ones that are going to be in the handout that I give you. So the first one is the extended exhale. So, first, you're just kind of breathing like a little bit more slowly. And then what you're going to do is you're going to breathe in. Let's say we'll start off for a count of 2. So breathe in for 2 seconds, and then you're going to double your exhale. So you would exhale for 4 seconds. So and then you just would continue that. So you would do that for a while, and then when you feel like you've reached, sort of capacity for that, then you could move on to a 3 and 6 or a 4 and 8. But stop when you feel like it's gotten to a point where you're exhaling and it no longer feels comfortable, because the whole point of this exercise is to be making you feel comfortable and at peace. So you're not supposed to, force yourself to keep going to a degree where you're sort of struggling at all. That would be counterproductive. And then another one is the box breath. Have you heard of that one? All right, so that one you're going to breathe in for a count of 4, then you hold it for 4 seconds, then you breathe out for a count of 4, and then you're going to hold that for 4 seconds. Do you want to practice that one time? Let's just do it once. All right, so I'll do it together. Breathe in for 4. I'm going to use my fingers. And repeat. So yeah, you're breathing in, you're holding it, you're breathing out, you're holding it, you're counting in your head, and you're just gonna keep doing that until you feel yourself just relaxing. And there's no, length of time that you need to do it for. You're just gonna sort of internally assess when you feel like you've calmed down a little bit. For me, that one really helps because counting also takes your mind off of whatever you might be starting to stress about. Getting out of your own head and into your body is very beneficial. You don't want to let those thoughts start to run rampant inside your head. Counting can be very centering. Let's see here. Then there's just a sensory orientation exercise. So this one's sort of similar to picturing a safe place, but in this one you're just going to bring your awareness into the present moment using, again, all your senses. So you could do this with your eyes open or closed. If I was doing it, I would suddenly be aware of the texture of the chair that I'm sitting on. I'd be aware of the temperature in the room. I'd sort of heighten my senses to really be aware of the noises that I can hear outside the building. Can I hear cars? Can I hear any people's voices? Do I smell anything? Right now I can kind of smell a little bit of the candle that I have burning in the room. That creates a really nice scent. So you're just really bringing your focus into your senses. It's interesting how taking our awareness from the outside and bringing them really into the senses starts to calm us down. Yeah. So try to do the same thing. Just really be aware of how your clothes feel on your body, how you feel in the position that you're in. Can you hear people talking in the next room? And all while you're doing this, it's important to just, be aware of your breathing as well. You're breathing more slowly, breathing more deliberately, trying to breathe into your abdomen rather than your chest. And sometimes it might be helpful if you actually place one hand on your chest and one hand on your abdomen. You want to feel your stomach extending when you take those breaths. And you want to feel it, caving back in when you breathe out. It just sort of helps focus your awareness on your breath. You can really focus, your attention on the sensation of the air coming all the way down to your abdomen. It also just makes you aware of taking that deep breath that goes all the way down into your belly as opposed to, a shallow breath into your heart. I do feel like I'm starting to overwhelm you. It's like so many different techniques. Maybe we'll take a break for today. And we can work on some of these other ones next time. I'll show you one more. It's called joint circles. So this is not one that I in particularly like. Just doesn't work for me, but that's not to say it's not going to work for you. So it just would be with any of your joints, you just would start to make circles in one direction and then the other. It could be your wrists, it can be your ankles, it can be your neck. So if you were using your neck, you would try to use your chin, and you would just think about drawing like circles with your chin in the air, as if like there was a canvas and there was a paintbrush attached to your chin, and you're just trying to make the perfect circle on that canvas. So that's one. And then last but not least, and this is the last one we're going to go over for today because I don't want you to feel so overwhelmed, is just yawning. You know, maybe you won't be able to yawn naturally on your first attempt, and you might have to fake it. I can yawn instantly. Yawning 4 or 5 times in a row is going to have a very strong, soothing, calming effect on your body. So that could be something that just is going to make you feel more at peace and calm. To just do some nice, deep, relaxing yawns. All right, so I'm going to leave you with that for now. I'm going to go get you that handout. And the next session, we're going to talk about like which techniques that you found were beneficial for you. So practice them at home when you're feeling calm, and then sort of find one that you think you're going to use, or 2 that you think you're going to use the next time you start to feel a little bit anxious. And then we'll talk about it next session. We'll see how you felt after you utilize these techniques and you had a little something in your arsenal. And as hard as it is to remember, I want you to try to remember that as scary as anxiety can feel in the moment, it's just your body's way of trying to prepare you for a perceived threat. It's just your body trying to help you get out of a dangerous situation. And we are going to retrain your body to learn when you're not actually in danger, and not to have your body overreact to things that are not in fact putting you in danger. And I want you to also remember that you are not your anxiety. Anxiety is tricky in the sense that, if you were to have a headache, or you hurt your knee, or you had a stomach ache, you don't feel like you are your knee ache or you are your stomach ache. But when it's anxiety, you really start to identify with it in a way that's different than any other, physical ailment. But it really is just another physical ailment. It's not you. It's just different physiological things that are happening in your body that aren't permanent, that will pass. When your stomach hurts, you don't start to fear, I'm going to feel like this forever. this is never going to go away, this is permanent. But when we get into an anxious state, sometimes we feel that this is, permanent. And we have to always be aware of the fact that this too shall pass. And sometimes don't try to fight against it too hard. You can rate your anxiety and see it as something separate than you. And you can even think, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give this anxious moment about a 6. I've had worse. I can get through this. I've gotten through worse. It's gonna go away. A line that I really like is this quote that says, "Let everything happen to you, beauty and terror. No feeling is final. Just keep going." And I think that's really important to remember with anxiety. No feeling is final. Just keep going. And just, in this crazy game of life, let everything happen to us, beauty and terror. We're going to have a lot of good moments. We're going to have a lot of bad moments. We just have to be open to experience and receiving everything with the constant awareness that this too shall pass. All right, so let me go get you that hand.